the cloud. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Homeschool episode 37 podcast, where me and Andrew Rivers tell jokes for a little bit, while a friend of ours is the only lone audience member and laughs or boos or heckles us, and then we talk about life and what's going on in comedy and what's going on in the world, but mostly just comedy and the world because we don't have any lives. Andrew, you got any live dates? I mean, speaking of no life, do you have any?
The Dope Show on April 16th, and then the anniversary show at Tacoma Comedy Club April 18th, and then end of April and May I'm at Tacoma and Spokane, and then a wide open calendar. I think I'm going to retire and join Scott Losse in hibernation.
There's a room in the guest room.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Do you?
I'm not bragging.
What's going on in your comedy world of live comedy?
Well, there's. My schedule is really easy to keep track of these days. It's no shows. It's kind of going through like a rebirth of sorts, where I working on forgetting on my act so that I can rebuild and rise like a phoenix from the ashes.
I like it. All right, perfect.
So no, I got nothing. But
well, the country is Seattle is almost entirely burned down, if you believe everybody in the country. So you're gonna literally rise from the ashes.
You can't blame me for not being able to get dates. There's just no opportunity out here in this hellscape. All I have.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Hey, everyone, gather around the burn barrel. Let's tell some jokes under the overpass.
That's right. $4 cover. Let's do it.
Well, I've managed to take some gigs that are amazing and some that aren't so much. I won't tell you which is which, but I'm going to be at Spokane Comedy Club this weekend with Kelsey Cook, and then headlining on Sunday. That's April, 9 to 11. And then, let's see, Andrew and I are doing some weird gig in Seattle that they said they're recording and putting on YouTube that I didn't know. It's private and you can't come. So I mention it.
Do I have to do? I saw some email about like filming a video for them. Is there anything I have
about
to
that?
do?
Oh, God, we gotta do that, don't we? Yeah. I forgot about that. Anyway, and then Tacoma Comedy Club.
I shouldn't have reminded you, and then we would have gotten away with it.
Gotten away with it. May 13th through 15th, Tacoma Comedy Club with Chad Daniels. The Drop Comedy Club, May 7th and 8th in South Bend, Indiana. And then I'm going to do Dubai again at the end of June, and then I got nothing. So
it'll roll in here.
Dubai. Yeah, it'll start picking up. But we're going to keep doing the podcast every week, and we're going to do it right now. Listen up after a 3-second pause, because I don't know how to edit things.
All right. Welcome to Homeschool number 37. I guess just found out we're going to keep going. I thought it was the last episode, but after hammering Joe Biden about not having a press conference, he finally relented so reporters could ask important, tough questions of the leader of the free world, like, are you going to run against Donald Trump in 2024?
Oh, all right. You mean the guy who got his fan club to storm the Capitol has a shot to run for president still? Can we wait and see if any of these candidates are going to be alive next year before he's talking about like 4 years from now? I mean,
these reporters sound like me after a breakup, you know. Wait, come back. We didn't realize what we had. Biden is boring. You were exciting and dangerous. Do you still think about us?
Andrew, will you take her back 4 years from now?
Well,
to see if you're alive next year.
Yeah, they say orange is the new black, and once you go black.
So how did the press conference go?
Oh, you didn't hear about it? It was awful.
Well, what did Joe do? Suggest injecting bleach in people, or look directly at the sun, or did he make fun of a handicapped reporter, or say all Mexicans were rapists, or call a woman a cow, or claim he got more votes than any president in the history of the world, or say COVID was going away by Easter, which is today, but he meant last Easter? What did he do?
Well, he brought a note card on stage with all the reporters' names.
Oh, what an embarrassment. If he was at a meeting and called Tim Cook Tim Apple because he's the CEO of Apple, I'm sure that would have been much better, right? Did he have any like COVID updates for us?
No, they didn't ask any questions about that. Come on, Cory. COVID is so 2020. It's over.
Right? Scott got it.
This new president is boring as shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Not according to the CDC director, by the way. She said she has a feeling of impending doom because people are acting like COVID is over. You open this shit up. Don't blame us for getting out and doing things, you know?
Yeah. Don't put porn on the internet and ask me to buy the DVD still. I know it's the right thing to do, but I'm only one man.
Yeah, my laptop doesn't even have a DVD slot anymore. I don't think. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. And where was the laptop built? China. Okay. Coincidence? I don't think so. They want us to keep masturbating because we're easier to conquer. A hard dick leads to a soft military. I've always said that.
You're saying. Speaking of whacking your Johnson, mix up at the Johnson & Johnson plant is going to cause a delay in shipment for more vaccines. So Johnson is going to take a while to come. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, boy, let me know if they find a vaccine for that.
Right, just come out of the closet, maybe.
Oh, well, I'm okay being terrible with women. I don't want to find out I'm also terrible with men.
That'd be too much for the ego. Yeah, I mean, too many Johnsons at once, and it screws up the batch, is what I've...
Yes, that's what happened at the plant. Well, one Johnson at a time is always my motto. It's what I've always said.
He has a lot of mottos. I've considered 2 before.
Oh, well, it's no longer tear-free at that point. But, hey, enough dick talk. Exciting news for fans of the balls. Opening day is here. You can finally see out-of-shape men grab their crotch and spit.
Are you trying to promote your OnlyFans again?
Oh, no, I'm going to the baseball game this week. It's much more expensive, but, you know, I really need some time off. I feel like it's been a full year since we've been writing jokes every week, and I'm ready for a vacation.
Hey, man, I hate to break it to you. We're only making $5 a month on Patreon on this podcast. I don't think we can afford a vacation.
But I was doing some research, so hear me out. Like, people in America are allowed to travel to Mexico, but you're not allowed to fly home without a negative test the day before. So if you test positive, you get stuck in Mexico. You get to stay for free in your hotel for 2 more weeks. It's the best plan ever, right? They move you to like a cheap room, but I don't care if it's a twin bed. I'm in Mexico. I'll sleep on the beach, right? What are you gonna do? Force room service on me? Sounds like an awful stay at a hotel. Hey, bring me some more margaritas. I heard tequila kills COVID.
Wow, I mean, you might be onto something. This is like the best dos por uno of all time. You plan a week-long vacation, buy some Coke, bang a couple hookers, or just drink the tap water, and by week 2, you're bound to have something that you have to quarantine over, and it's worth it.
Yeah, for like that rash looks like it's a Brazil variant. You got to stay 3 days just to be safe. The dog didn't like that joke.
Oh, did like it. Did or didn't like it?
I thought that was a laugh at first. I was like, got something.
Well, isn't it hard to, get COVID in Mexico, right? Their numbers are really low. What's that? Oh,
that's the Chihuahua. You can't talk about Mexico. The Chihuahua.
Can't bring up Mexico if you don't. Yeah, the Mexico.
You said you're crossing a line.
Good thing he didn't hear my Taco Bell jokes a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, don't cancel us, puppy.
They're professionals. It's okay.
It was not okay.
Yes. Get on the Patreon to see how much more handsome that dog is than he does.
That's right. You only get peaks, but if we get this Patreon up to $6, there's more dogs.
There's more. There's more down below.
That's right.
Well, don't listen, dog. What's the dog's name?
Oh, that's Turnip.
Turnip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Turnip. Don't listen to this next one. Mexico actually has a death toll higher than it previously reported, like 60% higher, 320,000.
Oh no, it's pretty big lying.
Yeah, weird. Yeah. That's really bad. It's the 3rd most in the world. I'd hate to be in a country doing worse than that,
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Wait.
Yeah, well, Trump put America first after all.
Well, good thing we have that wall to protect us from the Mexicans, right?
Yeah.
I've been saying we were number one for years.
Wait,
I just never said at what. So
You're ahead of your time.
You're not the only one looking to get on a boat to Mexico, by the way, Andrew. Ted Cruz was south of the border again.
Oh, he was eating ass?
Oh, no. Maybe, actually. But he took a flight to Cancun. Just kidding. He went to Mexican border to try and drum up some controversy over Biden's border crisis. BBC.
BBC?
Yeah.
Still sounds like Ted Cruz is having gay sex.
Oh, right. That is confirmed, but no, not very likely. Just kidding. That's not confirmed, but very likely. BBC, though, is long and hard to watch, as is British news.
Yeah, this border stuff is confusing, but a country is like a Facebook page. Sure, you can let everybody in, but after a while, people are forming a cult and causing trouble, and you got to start screening those friend requests a little more carefully.
That's an interesting analogy. I like it. So people are leaving a country, by the way, where COVID is out of control, that is run by corrupt officials and local gangs, where they could be killed or forced into sex slavery, and coming to America.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Well, we have Krispy Kreme.
Oh.
Which is offering free donuts to all vaccinated people. Every day you can get one, I guess.
I think I prefer the free VIP membership at a strip club, but either way, I'm seeing some glazed holes once I get this vaccine.
All right.
All right.
I like it.
Georgia passed a new law which makes it illegal to give people water who are in line to vote, but you can give them guns. So loophole, squirt guns.
Oh, smart. Can we give people in line jet fuel to drink? Delta was upset with the new law. What's that? You're planning on voting for Marjorie Taylor Greene? Well, this might quench that. Just take a sip.
During a speech, Joe Biden said the bill makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle. I think he was trying to make a joke, but it bombed. It's nice to see a president bomb something other than a country for once.
Yeah, right. Joe Biden announced from now on he's only going to operate at 25% capacity. These questions are getting far too difficult.
You know what? Let him have his note cards. It'll help with the Wheel of Fortune before bed.
Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is in the news, being accused of sexual misconduct with a minor. I knew you couldn't trust that Gaetz family, like father, like son.
Wait, he's not related to Bill Gates. Where'd you hear that?
Oh, freedomfiction.com.
Oh, good, reliable site.
Shoot.
Hey, important news here for everybody. Sesame
Breaking.
Street is adding 2 new black Muppets. Do they have white Muppets?
Yeah, I don't know that they have. I mean, they're very progressive. They have brown, orange, homeless Muppets, Muppets on drugs. And that's just Fozzie Bear, right? COVID was tough on comedians. Waka waka.
I want to throw a tomato at you for that joke. But South Africa is banning liquor sales over the Easter holiday to discourage get-togethers. What kind of loser doesn't have a weekend supply of booze, I'm going to have 2 weeks worth of toilet paper, but I got that liquor cabinet stocked better than Bart's bomb shelter.
Bart. Where are you, Bart? You listening? That ship that was stuck in the Suez Canal has been freed finally. Apparently, Captain Morgan was steering the boat. America could face toilet paper and coffee shortages as a result. Good thing there's still a lot of Mexican meth coming in, right?
Yeah. A ship carrying sex toys was one of the boats that was blocked. Now it looks like a happy ending as couples can go back to plugging their canal. Interesting climax to this situation.
Also, the ship was stuck for a week and we're going to have a toilet paper shortage. America doesn't even have 2 weeks of toilet paper stocked up.
I heard a rumor that weed smokers are immune to COVID, but I don't think that's true. I think that's because you don't fucking go anywhere. Hey, man, me and a bunch of my friends I just met are going to go to a crowded bar. Want to come hang out? Nah, man, I'm just chilling tonight. Netflix has a new documentary on bees.
Oh, man, did you know
we're
about
running
bees?
out of bees, man.
The bees are dying, bro. Did you
bees,
know?
Man, the bees.
My dad smokes weed and makes honey.
All right, we're going to go to the bar.
Yoga is being restricted and banned in Ireland and Alabama, which is fun to me. Conservatives are saying it's because of the ties of yoga to Hinduism.
If they get their way and bring back prayer in schools, they know I can just pray to any god I want, right? Like I can pray to Allah. Also, they know Allah is the same God as theirs, right? Is it?
I don't even know
Probably
any of
not.
that.
I don't think they don't.
I taught yoga once as a substitute teacher, and I'm never going back because it's a class for upperclassmen, which means there's no like pimply faced freshman boys. 100% 18-year-old senior girls in yoga pants practicing downward facing dog while I practice backwards facing teacher, right? I'm not going down like this, Lululemon.
Thanks for making the girls 18 in that joke.
You're welcome.
You and Matt Gaetz have a get together. Chris Cuomo, the CNN guy, he got COVID last year in March, and because his brother is the governor of New York, he was able to get special access to a test. This doesn't feel like a genuine controversy, you know. If Sean Hannity got COVID, Trump would be the first one there giving him mouth to mouth.
Yeah, right. Like, but after kissing each other's asses for so many years, I don't know if it'd be hygienic to do mouth to mouth.
Well, if you ever see our next guest on stage, you know the feeling of wanting to mouth kiss a stranger. Please welcome the hilarious Scott Losse.
Losse, everybody. You did perfect on the applause, Andrew. Good job.
That was amazing.
Welcome.
It felt real. It felt genuine. It felt.
You're like just bombed for 5 minutes, but
what's feels like comedy again. Thanks.
Hey,
yes,
we're back.
We're back. We're doing it.
What have you been doing?
Oh, geez, man. Well, I was supposed. It's funny. Like the beginning of COVID, I had a gig, like the weekend that they shut Seattle down completely. Like they shut Washington State down, and then I never looked back. I just started gardening, reading books, and going to church and learning about my body. And
praise Allah, or Hinduism, or what kind of church?
No, I haven't really.
Okay.
I'm still so deadpan as to people don't understand when I'm telling jokes, which is probably part of the problem why my comedy career never took off.
Yeah, that's my problem, except it's not deadpan. They just can't find my punchlines.
They just don't know where they are.
They just don't. They don't exist.
The best comedy requires explanation, is what I.
Do you go to a lot of church? I mean, I feel like hand tattoos and church are probably not
no.
A lot of coexisting going on.
You know, unless it's like
that's
cool
not on the bumper
bullshit.
sticker. Yeah.
No, I'm not the most religious person. I was hanging out with a nephew the other day, and he's 10, and he was talking to a little kid, and they're like, "What are you doing for Easter?" And he's like, "I'm not doing anything." And the kid was like, "You don't go to church?" And he's like, "I'm not into that kind of stuff." And I was like, "Oh, you're 10. Give it some time."
That ain't my shit, man.
That's what he was like. Fuck that bullshit. I was like, Jesus, Sebastian, calm down.
That ain't my bag, baby. Yeah.
Everybody open the hymnal and grab the hand of the person next to you. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's on your hands.
Yeah, he's a little aggro for a 10-year-old's opinion on religion, but whatever. I just I acted like I wasn't with him, and then it was fine.
Who's that guy, by the way? That's my uncle.
Oh,
Sure it is.
Yeah, no,
Sure.
at all.
You said learning about your body. Was that a joke too? I didn't. I just want to know.
Well, Cory, it's the problem. That's why I never got a booking agent. It's because everyone thinks I'm being real all the time.
Well, no, I mean, it looks like you've lost weight, like a dangerous amount, and we're worried about you. And
I was hoping
that's why we set up the Zoom. It's more of an intervention.
Outreach,
Yeah.
You know what I found out? Like doing stand-up a lot is one of the least healthy activities you can possibly do.
What do you mean? Going to a bar every night and eating their food and drinking their beer
for free and like getting unlimited. It turns out like unlimited beer and chicken strips might have been bad for me.
Oh, I thought you meant mentally.
Oh, that too. I'm sure. Yeah, I got my confidence back.
How Stella got her groove back. She quit going to open mics.
Yeah, I just quit. No, it was funny though, because it was like uh, when COVID hit, and it wasn't immediate, but after a while, I was like, oh well, I'm not drunk 4 nights a week.
Just 6.
Yeah, it was more than that for a while.
Yeah. It went up, and then.
So
Have you been working from home or?
Yeah, I worked from home for like 6 months, which was fantastic. The happy hours were great. I ate like shit. I think I gained like 40 pounds, to be honest.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Initially?
It was insane. Yeah. The problem, like people lose weight and they have a before photo. I didn't take any fucking before photos. I don't understand who does that. Because I've been looking for a before photo, and of course there isn't one. Because
yeah.
What would inspire you to be like
only people that are confident that they're gonna continue? You're like, I don't know if I'm gonna lose weight or if I'm gonna stay like this fat forever,
Yeah, I just thought like there was a very good possibility that I would come across a picture in a couple years of me with no shirt on where I have not lost weight since that time. And I didn't want Google Photos to remind me of that picture.
Right.
But I never took it.
Your before and after, you just got heavier. You're like, oh.
Yeah, it's just like the same dude.
There will be a before and
days,
after,
everybody.
but there won't be a middle. That's where it all went wrong.
That is funny when the person's before a photo isn't like them posing. It's just them like in a. I have a friend who does before
sad,
and after.
dumpy outfit.
She's just in a bed holding her brand new baby. I'm like, wow. Yeah, I guess you got yourself at your heaviest. That's
that's
counts, but
it's okay though. You had to.
Here's from my best angle. Yeah, like if I could take it a selfie from up above.
I keep looking for him, but that's the problem too. Is that I'm very good at taking things from flattering angles. So I can't find one where it's bad because I just kept going higher with the camera, so you can't tell.
What is your best angle?
I don't know. I think it's like 30 degrees, something like that. Definitely. But it's like
favorite.
Yeah, like probably somewhere high. But yeah,
I see you've been getting some sun as well. So nice to see you getting outdoors and
see how tan I am.
Yeah.
Oh man, I started doing keto. I didn't tell anybody about it because I didn't want to.
Thought that was the first rule of keto.
It is. I'm on this new alternative keto where you
keep that shit to yourself.
I try it. I purposely haven't posted a photo that's like, look at all the weight I've lost, because I'm afraid there's people who probably haven't seen me in so long that they didn't think I was that overweight to begin with. So it doesn't seem that special, and be like, well, it just looks pretty much the same.
But I gained 40 during.
But in the middle, there's all these times I never took a full body picture. You guys don't get it. But it's been interesting. Like I didn't do stand up. There's a lot of people doing Zoom shows that you guys see me. I'm horrible on Zoom. I don't want to do a Zoom show.
Yeah, we're ready to give you the light a couple minutes ago, but we're sticking it out.
But you can't, because you have to do a full episode. Otherwise,
I know
$5 for Patreon. So we have.
You're right.
Well, I think you look great. You still got the widow's peak, which is great. Very envious of the full head of dark, not gray hair. I don't know how you're doing that.
I haven't figured.
Do you have a widow?
Yeah, she's gone.
Do you still have a wife?
Yeah, she's
everything
somewhere.
else.
When she gets home, the dogs will start barking. You'll
okay.
She'll come say hi.
Oh, good. Yeah, invite her on for sure. Have you seen Andrew's hair live and in person? Not in person, you haven't seen it, but here you go, live. Woo!
That's amazing. I shaved my head like 2 months ago, but I had it it was amazing.
Okay.
40-year-old skater boy haircut. I was going.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty tight.
Are you 40? You're 40?
I'm 41 now.
Oh man, you're older than me. Okay.
Yeah, so you got me.
We have a lot of career-wise and life with a lot of similarities. We always
we're soulmates, Cory. We've
We
been
are.
drawn together forever.
I wish it extended to the haircut, but you know what are you gonna do? Maybe I should get some matching tattoos with you. That
You
might be
could.
fun.
Come with me. We'll I don't know, butterflies or something.
What are on your hands these days? Is it the same as when I saw you last, or has there been?
Like,
I know that, yeah,
it's the
and I know
same.
that, yep, same. Okay,
There's other ones. I've got more. I just
yeah.
keep collecting them. Um, it's
Are
funny
Are they
that
all bird related?
yeah, they're all birds. Just constantly getting birds.
Do women reach out about your tattoos? Is that a thing that when you were at shows after shows that women go, "Oh, I love your," is that a
Yeah. Well, I
how does
think
that go? Because I hear women say like, don't ask me about my tattoos or what the story behind my tattoo. And I was like, well, it's kind of like
everybody wants to know why.
I'm very, I don't know, it's right there on you.
It's definitely an annoyance. Like people want to know the meaning behind it. I
Right.
don't think I ever got any like, woman attention because I'm not good at talking to women anyway. So that would immediately do away with any possibility of a flirtation once they talk to me as a human.
Well, we're men, right? So you don't have to be bad at talking to us right now. You can do better if you
Oh,
want.
I'm sorry. I was just distracted by your background, Andrew. I
I
couldn't.
know, and my hair. You thought he's very
It is
ladylike.
quite
You've
the
like
quite the juxtaposition of my background to his
no
background.
Corey's like a dapper golfer, and Andrew is like going on a hike where he's checking the elevation gain to make sure it's intense enough.
He lit up a joint during this discussion. Do you like tatted? I mean, it's hard to ask you about what kind of women you like because you got a wife.
I only like women named Janelle who live in my house.
All right. Well,
I like a tattoo. I like a tattooed lady, but I think tattoos have become more common as time goes
Right.
on. So it's almost not like it's not even a counterculture different type of thing anymore.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
like hipster tattoos. You're like, you're not even a real tattoo person. You
That's
just
the
got
thing
it.
too. Yeah. I'll see tattoos where I'm like, that's not even a real tattoo. I mean, it is, but yeah,
Right.
that's too little. Once you get enough tattoos, you see other people's tattoos, and I know how much. I'm like, I know how long it took to get that tattoo. That was a 15-minute tattoo, you piece of shit. Like that doesn't count.
Listen, until you have 4 teardrops, I don't respect you. That's all I'm saying. That's my hood
Yeah.
rule. That's all I got.
Yeah,
You got
unless
that one on Groupon, I think. So that's a thing.
right.
But
Until you've sat for 5 hours, and you want to.
what's the longest is that how long you've sat? 5 plus?
Four maybe.
Oof.
It's awful. It's
Okay,
it
good. I'm
becomes
glad
like
you don't like go, it's all right. You're like, no, it's all right.
no. Every tattoo sucks, and the next one sucks just as much, and it's just like you get used to how much it sucks, and then you just go for it. I don't know.
Like going to Andrew's shows,
Yeah, you're like, this guy, oh well, I know the suck I'm about to experience. So how much is
Scott
the
has opened for me many times. He is an
I
expert
have.
on this field.
I feel like I'm a good opener for horrible places. That's my station in life is like if you're going somewhere shit that you think might be semi-violent or scary, then I'm the guy you take with you.
It's funny you said Andrew's work. He's editing a video right now that he's been putting off because he's like, this was a.
Well, yeah.
You should have brought
funny.
Scott.
I brought Scott one time to somewhere in Idaho, right?
Yeah, Northern Idaho, Hayden.
Yeah. There you go. It was a fun gig though. And you met Bart, the
Bart
bomb shelter guy.
Sandwich. He bought me a sub sandwich.
He's a good guy,
We talked about stopping power. We talked about
yeah.
No,
I don't think I only bring you to the bad ones. I just think I prefer other people for the good. I think other people deserve the good ones. I don't know. I think the bad ones are the only ones that let me. Yeah.
Bad ones. No Good Club tells Andrew that he can bring anybody, I guess.
Yeah, they barely trust me to do my job, not someone else. They're like, we don't they don't trust my judgment necessarily, but yeah. So this show in Oregon in October, I got basically booed. They tried to boo me off stage, but it's awkward because I tell a bunch of Trump jokes, and this is late October, so it's like we're in the thick of it. We're like 2 weeks from the election, and I can tell I'm already my regular act isn't going great anyway. This is a tough show, but and so I could feel this coming on, and then I tell the Trump jokes and they go like get a couple laughs, but then I tell a joke about the punchline is burning down a Wendy's. Like they say liberals won't be nice to Trump, but when he was in the hospital, I went to a candlelight vigil for him that was mostly Democrats, but we were burning down a Wendy's, same thing. So it's a joke sort of making fun of liberals if you really look at it, but they just flipped out and they just were going boo for like a solid minute. And I'm going like, I cannot believe this is, I don't even, I mean, I'm watching myself be in literal shock and just go like, I don't know what to do, because the night before, same town, even smaller town, actually, like the joke went great and everyone laughed the whole time. And I had built-in savers. I'm like, this isn't my first time performing on the road or like doing material I thought might be
You had
touchy
written a
or
saver
whatever.
line for being booed off stage, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I had never. Yeah, I
excessive.
did. Yes. Yeah, the saver line. Yeah, I mean the
Good
joke
night,
of like, I hate Trump jokes. Also, every time they come on, I'm like, don't do it. Be a good comedian, but then once I know that joke, like I can feel it coming because I'm like, well, that joke didn't work, so the rest of these jokes aren't gonna work. But I just didn't expect him to just fucking boo.
But it's funny, the one that got him was the one that actually pokes fun at the
That's
people
what's
who
most
disagree
upset
with
is
them,
because once they didn't boo the Trump joke before that, I was like, oh, I'm in the clear.
Right.
This will get him back on my side. And then that was the one that fucked it all up. But then the guy like apologized, and we eventually, for a couple minutes, I'm just going like, fuck you. And the guy's like, fuck you. And I'm like, fuck, this is not helping. But then like, I eventually just, limped my way through the ending of the set. But they came up and apologized after, and like his buddy, because it was a group of like 20 people. That room only holds like 50 people or whatever, so it was like 25 guys all on one side of the room that all know each other, and I think that's why he felt comfortable enough to be like boo and get a bunch of his buddies to join in. But he came up and tipped me $20, and he's like, sorry, he's drunk and he's whatever, and I'm like, oh, thanks, it's all good. And then Josh Firestein is opening for me, and he's got a giant America tattoo across his belly, and he's fucking ex-army guy, Army Ranger. And so what I found out is they tipped Josh $100. And so I was like, okay. And then the MC was a girl, Morgan, who is a San Francisco comedian or Sacramento comedian, I think. And so she came up just to host, and they tipped her $50. So I was like, well, I deserve all of the ratio for how well my set went, but
I wonder what they would have given a guy with knuckle tattoos. That would have been interesting.
I can't imagine. Well, Scott's very non-offensive.
I don't tell jokes about Wendy's because I know better.
That was what got him, was Wendy's. You burned down a Wendy's, fuck you. You're like, oh,
we're Wendy's franchise owners.
Yeah, they're in and out people. They don't.
Somebody commented today. I just want some help with this one. So I did that lip app, that's making the lips fat on Instagram, and I just said, oh, look what the vaccine did to me. And then I
thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. And then I misdirected it in the end. I was like, can you believe what happened to my nose? Just silly, right? And these gay fellows who are on Ron Vi and Liz Stone's show, Jerry and Leon, these guys?
I don't know them. I've never done that show. Thanks, Liz. Never invited me to do a show.
That show's pretty great, and they go to every show and they dress up to the theme, and they're this cute older gay couple, and I think they're awesome, and I love him. And he goes, if this is a shtick, in quotes, it's not very funny, angry face. And I was like, oh, well, it's definitely not true.
It's a shtick.
So yeah. But so I wrote like, hey, love you, man. What's the context? All right, so the context of this joke is I'm being ironic. I'm making fun of people who are saying that there's bad side effects, but there aren't really. And he just never replied, which is fine, I guess. But I can't even figure out what he's mad at.
I bet he's in his mind. You're an influencer, influenza. You're,
yeah, I'm putting out there that there's negative side effects to the vaccine. Yeah, I found it.
It is.
So yeah, that was my guess too. But I was like, oh, I'm being ironic.
But that's the thing is like,
I'm being.
Are
ironic.
they making the joke back? Are they trying to yes and they suck at it? Are they?
Which is why I said, hey, can you clarify? Because I don't. Instead of being like, fuck you, you suck.
Well, who knows? They probably
A friend
unfollowed
recently
you.
messaged me on Facebook Messenger, and it like clearly was a bot, but I didn't want to go hard. I wanted, because if it wasn't, I don't want to be like a dick to this person.
Yeah.
Just was like, hey, we're playing softball Thursday. You should join. Just like, and then she didn't reply. And then softball, she was there. And I was like, hey, so did you message me on Facebook? And she's like, nah, I've been dealing with that for a year and a half. It's crazy. It's this other account and it's not. And I was like, okay,
Funny.
I thought so. But
yeah, you don't want to like some girl you dated 6 years ago.
Right.
Oh my God, thank you for reaching out. Sorry, my account was hacked. I didn't mean to send you that text. Like
exactly. And her name wasn't and if it's Scott, her name's not Janelle, then it's no dice anyway. So you've probably been, you don't have to say this, but you've probably been getting a lot of you've probably been banging a lot during this last year. Just okay. All right. Mum's the word.
Just crazy.
Because Andrew
did you have a type? Did you ever have did you have a type of girl that would like approach you?
Yeah. With stand up, it was moms where moms approached me. Drunk moms fucking love me for some reason.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was like if I had to say a type based on positive attention, it was somebody's mom who had too much wine, who really thought I was good. Or
that's Cory's weakness right there.
That's why.
Just if that comes up to you, go. You gotta look up Cory.
I got a guy.
I got a guy.
Likes to have me on shows. Just like.
Yeah, Scott needs to open for Cory now. It sounds like. Oh, hello.
Hey.
Here comes your type.
Don't ruin this podcast.
Hi, beautiful.
Oh, welcome to the podcast.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be.
You
Glad
ruined it.
You messed it up.
Very professional operation we run here. We don't care. It's
like
great.
I work from home now, right? So
Yeah.
I do it all day, every day.
Fun.
Oh, nice.
Aw.
That's why you're better at talking on Zoom than I am.
Oh, because I do it all day,
You
every
want to
day.
stay?
Can we switch out guests? Actually,
I'm also not afraid of Andrew and Cory like you are. So.
Whoa,
kidding.
you just turned the show.
All right, get out of
Hi,
here.
guys.
Listen, you gotta stand up for yourself over there. Yeah,
I don't have anywhere else to go.
I know. Well, yeah, that must be nice to be with somebody during this whole time, right? Not be alone. Yeah,
That's true. What's it like to be alone?
it's tough. A
Guess
little
we
bit of
should
a
ask
dry
you-
spell this year, because of Corona and my face, and
I think you look.
apparently my haircut.
A hitchhiker. You look like one of the
Oh,
hitchhikers
that's
I've ever seen.
Yeah, you look like that Florida. Remember that Florida? Well, this doesn't narrow it down. But there was like a Florida viral video guy. You kind of look like him right now. Anyway.
okay. Well, I just bought some new bath salts. Can't wait to lay down.
We
Sniff 'em.
probably shouldn't have started asking the questions about what it's like to be with someone during quarantine when she walked in. She'll done it before
Yeah,
she
yeah.
walked in, I guess. But,
yeah.
blink
It's
twice.
awesome. Please blink twice if you need help.
Type in the chat.
Yeah,
Use the chat if you need to.
Use the chat button.
Hold
Call
on.
for a large pepperoni pizza.
It was
Well,
cool. No, it was nice at first, but definitely I think we both got tired of each other after a while. You're like, fuck, I'm around you again.
Yeah.
There's no
Scott's
other
like, I'm gonna go on 6-mile runs.
no.
Lose
Yeah.
40 pounds, but I'll be gone
Wait.
for 4 hours.
Yeah, that's the secret right there. I'm gonna go count.
Well, yeah. So,
count my dry bar money and go.
hey.
Dry bar for you, dry spell for Andrew.
No, dry vaginas for everybody near me. But
very similar. That's how much I've gotten paid for that.
yeah. So, but I was in Oregon this weekend and talking to this girl down there for a little bit, and she lives an hour away from the show. But she had planned all month to come to the show, and I'm like, it's free. So even if you forget to buy tickets, you can still show up or whatever. And I'm taking my
excuses.
chances also because it's like a free outdoor show that like people don't know is happening. So I'm like, I hope this goes well. And she goes, oh, I'm bringing my friends down to the show. And in my head, I was like, oh, you should have them drive you down and then I can drive you back, whatever, work that situation out. She had made a joke about, hey, maybe if you get a haircut, you'll get laid after your show in Oregon or whatever. And so, you know, was hinting towards this was going to be a good day. But she comes to the show. First of all, the show is crazy. The host goes up sort of sacrificial, 5 minutes. And then the feature goes up, a comic from Sacramento, I think. I'll have to look her up later, but I didn't write it down. But funny, she's killing for like 5 minutes, doing crowd work, aggressive, like, and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta walk around the corner and like I gotta listen to a joke again, be like, how do I? Because I thought like, oh, this is a low pressure gig, and everyone's gonna bomb. I'll just come up and kind of half-ass it, and then she was killing, so I was like, let me actually get prepared, and I'm trying to impress this girl, So then I come back. She's got like 3 minutes left, and I just hear her screaming at the audience, like, fuck you, it's your fault. And I'm sorry I ruined the show. And fucking, I'm setting the table great for this headliner. She's like pointing at me. I'm like, don't get me involved in this. I don't know what happened. So, but it's fine. So I go up and had a good set.
And the girl and her friends are there, and they're there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I hung out with them for an hour, entertaining everybody. Yeah. Gave them free T-shirts and fun, but anyway, good times.
You go up and in.
So then, end of the night, I'm kind of like, all right, well, she's like, I got to drive my friends back. And I was like, okay, well, I have a hotel in Portland because I just figured this might be a shot, and I didn't want to drive back at 1 a.m. or whatever. So, there's no specific plan. And so she kind of goes like, good night. And I'm like, okay, I think, maybe I misread this. Thought we were going to hang out, but all good.
She lives in Portland or ish?
Yeah. Okay. So then I drive to my hotel and I just send her my location. I go, hey, this is where I'm staying if you want to come by. And I don't think I got that good night kiss, whatever. Okay. And she goes, oh, why don't you just come over to my house? And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So and this is like the type thing is like, I think bashful girls, like shy girls, like really like me. And it's like the most annoying thing for me.
Yeah, it's bad.
Because I'm kind of like not strong enough to like be like, hey, I'm coming to your place, or like just invite myself over,
Right.
And so anyway, but whole ordeal. So go over to her place. Her friends are still there. It's like midnight, and like they're all like hanging out, and like it's just 2 other girls and this and I'm like we're like playing beer pong with just water, and then we like play 2 games, and the girl that I'm trying to hook up with is kind of like, oh, it's getting late, and and they're like, oh, why don't we play cards? And she's like, I don't really want to play cards. And then they just go like, all right, well, Andrew, here are your cards. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to play cards either, but
So does she go to bed?
no, they're like,
Okay.
we're staying. She's just sitting there, and I'm like trying to involve her in the game, but I'm also like, I'm not strong enough to just be like, hey, why don't we just go to your room and like we don't want to play cards or whatever. But that didn't happen. And she kept being like, oh, it's getting late, and oh, it's just. But she's not strong enough to tell her friends like, hey, I'm trying to get fucked over here. But so we just do that until like literally 3 a.m. And then she's like, I gotta go to bed. And I was like, totally get it. And then her friend, her roommate, all of a sudden just goes like, oh, I'm gonna go to my room. And then like walks in her room, closes the door, and then the other person, she's like on the deck smoking a joint and whatever. And I'm like, well, fucking 4 a.m. Like, thanks a lot, you know? And so and then again, I'm like, I could just, I mean, you know, I could stay, but I'm not gonna invite myself.
Yeah.
So I just bounced, got back to my hotel, and then I was like, kind of like, did she not tell them before? Like, she could have been prevented with like a lot of different talks or whatever. And but anyway,
them,
texting,
hey, stay till 4 a.m.
No. I mean, that's the thing is, right? But her text, you know, the next day was like, oh, sorry, they were such cock blocks, and I was hoping they would read my signals. And I was like, well, you know, maybe you should gossip about that beforehand, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
But just a terrible situation.
Have you ever been in a situation like that, Scott?
No, I'm like, I've been the other person. I've been the person saying we should play cards. For sure. There's been a couple times when I'm like, you know, because people are polite. Like if I've gone out on the road with people and I'm, you know, married and they're single, they'll be like, come on, let's go out. And there's always a time in the night when they meet up with someone and they're like, they don't want to be mean and say, get the fuck out of here. But they're like, yeah, let's go. And like, there's been times I haven't quite gotten the hint, maybe immediately, and been like, cool, what are we doing? And then we'll get to another place and I'm like, what do you guys want to do? And then I look at them and I'm like, oh yeah, you wanted me to leave. Okay. And then
yeah, when I open for Cory, he's always like, come with me. She's got a friend you can bang. Who cares? Let's have a party. And then I'm like, I don't want to be here, but
well, there's a Spokane story from your
there was a one story fun
from
time
years ago. That was great. Man. So I think I don't know if it's but I think you remove yourself from the room and let them chat.
It's like such a small apartment, and like looking back, I was like, maybe I should have said like, hey, let's go on the deck for a little bit, or like but it's like it's not like a deck you like sit on, it's just like a tiny thing. And so I was sitting there, you're like,
sit on. It's just
it's a tiny one.
Send me deck pics.
But
you go to the bathroom. You text her from the bathroom. I don't know.
It's gotta be. But I'm also like unsure in the moment. I'm like, does she want to? Does she even? And I told her that also, and she's like, yeah. Sometimes people say I'm hard to read and whatever.
Yeah.
She's military, so she's like she kind of is funny to me, but she was like, oh, I think it's just because I'm really stoic and like, you know, whatever. And I was like, you're calling yourself a hero because you're you know, in the military, but fun, but you know, so whatever. But the implication is maybe next time, but now it's like, when, you know, when's anything gonna be real? Does God exist at this point?
Is this the woman that you were suggesting drive up to Tacoma for a show a while back?
Yeah.
Or she thought she might,
Yeah, and then she, this fun last minute, this sounds mean, but like, I was like, hey, you don't need a ticket. And if you're just hanging out with me, like, just drive up by yourself. Again.
Yeah.
same situation where I was like, just drive up by yourself. And then she was like, oh, I'm going to bring a friend. And I was like, well, it's harder to get like a group of 3 people into the comedy club, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
as like my guest.
Right.
And then also you're going to want to drop your friends off immediately after, which defeats the whole purpose of us hanging out. Like you're going to come to the show and then your 2 friends are going to tag along the whole time, you know?
Right.
And then now we repeat that same situation where I'm like, see, you dragged your friends to the show and they cockblocked you. So maybe some foresight in the future.
Well, I always think that I mean, as someone that has a woman around a lot, Scott, do you think that the bring the friend to the show thing is like, I just don't feel comfortable? Is it embarrassment going to a show by yourself? Is it, you know, she's in the military. She's not afraid of Andrew, so that's not it.
Right, she can take him out easy.
Yeah.
I know. It's like a move. It's like an easy exit, right? Like you take.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
So
she
yeah.
Yeah.
And people just hate. I know there's like a stigma against going to comedy shows alone, even in general. So.
Right.
But maybe that's the thing, is they don't want to sit there and be like.
What
was that?
You said you ever see people alone at a comedy show? You always wonder. You're like, who the fuck goes alone to a comedy show?
Yeah, I mean, she would be there. I mean, it's like I was sitting with her while the feature was on until I went to like go get my shit together because I thought I was gonna follow a killer set, and then it was like a meltdown, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta give me 5 more minutes. I gotta prepare a whole other
another thing." Yeah, what was the meltdown? But how'd that play out, or why did
I don't know? I just
that story. All right.
I think I don't know. I gotta find more information about that, but yeah.
Well, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't. So Salem, huh? I don't. I was asking you about the gigs.
Yeah, it's a fine gig. It's a young crowd, I think, and I think like half the people there at the start don't know it's about to happen. So like, he just kind of starts setting up a tent, huh?
Those are the best shows, the surprises.
yeah. Surprise comedy.
I hate doing shows where people know what they came to see and are actively excited.
It's a thing called The Yard. It's just like it's like a beer garden food truck thing, and there's like an indoor part for it too, and just a bunch. It's a cool spot, and so they just set up. There's like fire pits, but they just set it up outdoors. Indoors would be a cool spot, maybe. Probably not actually. It's huge and. Yeah, probably not. But anyway, but you know, fun gig. But
text me and ask me for tips on.
Yeah, well, there's a thing on the table that's like send money to the comedians or whatever, Venmo it, or you know, yeah. I don't even know what it paid. I don't ask what things pay anymore. I just take it because I'm like. Better than the nothing I was getting paid before that. So, I mean, not, you know.
I don't think I ever said no when I was doing stand-up a lot. I would do the shittiest thing and not ask how much the money was because I was like, well, worst case scenario, it's a story.
Right.
Like, even if it goes horribly wrong. And sometimes those shit gigs pay weirdly good, too. I've had a couple where you're just like, all right.
Cory's booking a shit gig up in Marysville if you wanna get back to work.
Yeah,
oh really?
Well, I handed it over to Luke.
Well, nice.
Yeah, if you want to perform at a mini golf course, that'll work out for you.
Is it outside?
No.
It's indoors.
Oh, indoor.
The guy who runs it wears a T-shirt that says "I will not comply," which is fun.
Yeah, he has snarky signs because you know, you're supposed to wear your mask until you're seated and drinking, and so he has a sign where it's like, follow the science, COVID up here bad, COVID down here doesn't exist, or something like that.
That was so funny.
And yeah, interesting. Fun. A lady chased me down in the parking lot after that show because I made fun of Trump and Biden, which is funny now because my act is very topical for the last year. You know, I wrote like a whole new thing, and but now it's like a leaky roof because like some of the Trump jokes don't really work anymore because there's there's no tension left in Trump anymore because of the riot. It like took out all the tension people have with Trump, so they just don't care. And so, but it feels like a leaky roof. I'm like putting water buckets and like, oh, patch this with some Biden jokes and put some vaccine jokes over here. It's a real situation. But this lady was like, wait, you made fun of Trump and Biden at the show. Which side are you on? I couldn't tell. And I was like, oh, I don't really pick a side. All I care about is the truth. And she goes, but that's Trump. And I was like, oh, well, the opposite side of you then. And she was like, I'm so disappointed. And I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. And then I think her husband came and was like, all right, let's just go. Like,
she was a mom who had too much wine. Where was
yeah,
Scott
she would have loved Cory.
Isn't it? It's weird. I feel like stand-up is, I mean, I'm sure all performing arts are like that, but your audience is mostly drunk. So
I think about that constantly. When you're like, a joke doesn't work, and you're like, oh, they're hammered most of the time.
Yeah. They're not, I don't even know if they listen or if they just get on the wavelength and they just ride it. Like you can be, there's like, this sounds funny. It sounds like he's telling jokes.
A comfortable humming vibration. Yeah.
I do think a lot of people at the end, like when they discuss who was the best or whatever what they do after a show, they just base it on like, I think everybody liked that person the best, so that's who I liked the best. Or then they compliment, they're like coming up to me like, I love those jokes about your hand tattoos, and I'm like, all right, whatever.
Of course. I mean, I just like opening because most of the time the bar is, you were better than I thought you would be. I was just like, thank you so. Yeah, thanks. I thought
you got a future in this.
That's right.
Speaking of which, your dry bar did really well, right? And did you ever do much like touring off of that, or like did anything come of that other than weird fan mail?
That's weird. I became like pretty well known in epilepsy circles.
Oh
yeah.
Right.
So like the emails I get about that are almost all people with epilepsy who thought it was nice that I talked about it or made light of it. So it's been like oddly heartwarming in a way. Like that's the takeaway from it.
You should do like a show, like a epilepsy conference or something like that. What I mean?
So there's a conference in like New York, and they ask me every year to do it. Really? Yeah. And one year
they bring you on stage and the lights all flash and they're like,
I was worried about. I was like, I can't do that. This year they messaged me this year in like March, of course, and then it just, everything got shut down. But that was kind of cool. It was kind of neat, like when something you create has a positive impact, when most of the time you're just talking to drunks, but sometimes
you're changing people's lives, Scott. You're inspiring the youth, and you're representing for all the epileptics out there that don't get enough screen time.
It gets heavy though, because people tell you their stories.
Oh.
So that's like, you're like, okay, I haven't had the hardest time with my epilepsy, but it ruins people's lives, and people tell you about it, and you're like, well, I'm glad you liked the jokes. Thanks for reaching out.
Did you
dry bar, like, huh? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, the dry bar though, like, I mean, it got a lot of views, some of that stuff, and like, I wasn't really in a place to like promote it too much, and I always have hated watching myself, so it was it was a nice experience, but also I didn't make the most of it. I think it would be nice to go back and like do what you guys have done and like piece it out and use it for promotional stuff. Would be fun.
Still time.
There's still time. It was shot.
Once you get back to comedy.
TikTok.
Yeah.
It's kind of been funny because I felt like I was in a rut for so long. Like you just tell the same fucking jokes over and over again. And it feels almost like you can't stop telling the jokes because it's just automatic. Like,
yeah,
you're like, here's my 30 that I got. But
it's also the fear of like not doing well when you're like trying to get brought back to all these places again, and and the safety net of knowing, for example, like what's gonna happen if you get booed off stage, or like, oh,
Right.
these jokes have never caused me to get booed off stage, so I'm gonna keep doing these, you know.
Yeah, I hit a point. I think I hit a point where I was telling jokes that fucking killed, but in my heart, I would kind of be like, this it always kills. So
Yeah.
there's no sport in it. There's no sport in it if you know the closer works every time. Cause like you walk off like some hero and you're like, well, yeah, the 200th time that has worked and it worked again. Amazing.
It's like
How
a
do I
Tinder
do
photo with a tiger. You're like, they put it to sleep. It's not even real. He
this?
didn't
Yeah.
he didn't hunt it down and fucking.
I think
That's
like
funny. I feel that way. Like golf is a good analogy. I golf all the time, and like the other day, a guy's like, "Oh, he like missed." He also like he's like, "That's a great shot," and then he like missed. He's like, "Great par," and I was like, "I was a bogey," and you know, like it wasn't really a par. And he's like, nah, it was great. And I'm like, but it was all right. It's just better that you believe that I made par because
yeah.
think I'm good, and that's. But I'm over here going, oh, idiot, I suck.
Yeah. I'm just like, you're like, yeah, I know that closer was good, but it's also I've been using it for 3 years and just can't write anything better than that. So I just don't know what to do with myself. And but thank you for the compliment.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes
Comedy
like
needs a handicap.
Right.
No, you don't get to use that one's. Yeah.
But I mean, I find joy in like some new tags, or like, you know, sort of telling the joke in a different way, or like
Yeah.
you know, I added a new line to a joke that's like 3 years old now, and it, like this joke about like drunk texting my ex-girlfriend or whatever. I just added a dumb line like, "Hey, live your life, Senator," and like for some reason it makes me like the joke all over again because I'm like, oh, this is fun again, you know?
Yeah. I think if anything, like the cool thing about COVID is I wasn't doing the act, so I don't know the act as well.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I don't have all the bad habits that I, you know, developed telling some of the jokes. So now it's like
you could tell them the same way and you'll love them again because you had a break, you know?
Yeah. Janelle will quote a joke to me sometimes, and I'm like, "Can you tell me that again? Because I can't remember how to tell it. How did it go?"
Funny.
Like my jokes have become it's like my brain has thrown them out because it didn't need to know them anymore. But now I just
That's
know
what
like
happened like the first couple months of lockdown. Like, I don't think I did shows for like 3 months, and then it was like, oh, I was like just in my bedroom going like blah 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 blah, like to myself like an idiot.
where do I? So I'm sure it would come back. It's just like a reflex.
Yeah,
It would just be
yeah,
like
yeah, like a gag
surviving.
reflex.
But I'm actually just excited to get back up on stage without that comfort zone to see where things go.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
planning a reunion anytime soon at open mic, or
I think
have you
I'm
got a
going.
vaccine yet?
I know some people. Yeah, I have one out of 2 shots. Maybe when I get 2 shots, I'll run out there. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know who's like eager to go to an open mic, really. But
Well, you know what's interesting is the open mics. You don't get necessarily an honest read, but they are full because people are just excited to be
I
out
want to go
allowed
somewhere.
anywhere. So
Yeah.
yeah, they've been full every time I've gone to them.
Well, I can't wait to go out to one and tell my closer and just destroy the place.
Just be like, this is my
That
first
was
time
worth
doing
it.
comedy.
Yeah, it's just like, you're like, oh, this
Well,
stuff
I excited to see you on stage and hear about you smoking weed and coming back and telling the story multiple times from the garage. I think that was the closer that I recall.
That's my
Yeah.
that was it.
Great joke.
Why
And
tell another closer if your closer works so well
I
every
mean,
single time?
amazing story, very funny, and but yeah, I mean, we've written a bunch of new stuff through this podcast, and then also just elsewhere, and so we've it does. That's what's fun for me right now is like, oh, I'm gonna get to go feature this weekend with mostly new stuff, and I actually think it's gonna work. So that's like kind of that's just really a fun. I don't know, it's a fun
Yeah.
feeling. So it was a
It's
good.
about, it's like a proving it thing. Like it's also, I mean, maybe it's, to me, it's also like ego where I'm like, I think I'm really good at this. And so I'm going to prove it until somebody gives me enough money to make a living.
Yeah, I don't think I can stop. I've decided. Because
Oh,
I'll see
yeah?
people posting that they're
Yeah.
doing it, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
better than that fucking dude. Like, I'm gonna.
You can't let the terrorists
I'm
win.
here, but
Corey.
Yeah, Cory, close your laptop. But
So you, well, I think guess what we're saying is that I guess the point is that COVID's been a really good thing for America and
Yeah.
an American comedy, and
it's been a good refresh despite all the deaths and illness.
oh right, yeah. But
Yeah,
well, if you're listening, and I mean, you're gonna want to see Scott Losse perform live on a Wednesday night here soon at an open mic. So make sure you follow him on all of his things. What are all your things?
All my things.
Scott Losse.
Yeah, I'm at Scott Losse on everything. I'm
Look at
not.
you.
Yeah.
Businessman. SCOTTSLOSSE. And Andrew J. Rivers is Andrew J. Rivers on all the things. I'm Cory Michaelis Comedy on all of the things. And when you're vaccinated and ready to, we'll do a show of the three of us somewhere. How about that? That sounds fun.
Yeah, I'll do the shittiest wherever. Somewhere where there's angry Wendy's employees.
Low expectations, Losse. That's what we like.
Well, thanks for coming on. It was good talking to you and catching up. And follow us on the Patreon to see his dog and his wife. That's two separate things.
The bottom half of both.
Ooh, bye, everybody.